Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my review on the Making Mauves collection from Colourpop Cosmetics. It's been a really long time since I've done like a Colourpop review because they haven't been releasing that many collections like we're used to, and they did stop shipping for a while, and it took me a really long time to receive this collection, but I finally have it and I'm so excited to review it for you guys because it's just been a while since I've done like a proper Colourpop review and a 3-look 1 palette video because I did take a break on those. So it is just really exciting to film this again. In today's review, I'm going to share my thoughts on the collection. I'll give you guys some swatches, some comparisons, and then you'll see my 3 looks using their palette towards the end of the videos. So if you guys are curious about all of that, then just continue watching. Alright, so first things first, let's break down the collection and what is in the Making Mauves collection. So first we have the 9-pan eyeshadow palette, which is $14 US. We have 2 pressed cheeks, which are $8 US each, and then we have 2 luxe gloss, which is also $8 US each, and then we have 2 super shock eyeshadows that come in a kit for $10 US. So the only thing I don't have from this collection is the super shock eyeshadows, and then if you want to purchase the whole set, you can get it for a good $49 US, and I think this collection is just the perfect size. It's not too big, it's not overwhelming, and overall just the concept of this collection I really love. It reminds me of the Blush Crush and Nude Mood concept. Let's talk about the eyeshadow palette first because that's always the most exciting thing. So here we have Making Mauves. It is in the cardboard packaging, so it is $14 US. The plastic one is $12 US, I believe, and when you open it up you will see 9 beautiful shades. You pretty much have 6 mattes and 6 metallic shadows, and the way it's laid out, I actually really like it because it's really easy to take on. Like, first off, it's already a 9-pan, so that's already really easy to take on if you're a beginner, but the way it's laid out makes it very easy as well because the first row you have your matte transition shadows. These are very light and they're all a little bit different from each other, and then in the middle row you have your 3 metallic shimmer shadows, and then on the bottom row you have your medium to dark matte shadows. But overall, using this palette, I really did enjoy it. Obviously there are a lot more mattes than shimmers, and I personally like that. I think the range is quite good. With the mattes you get the transitions all the way to the medium to the dark, so that's always good. You can create a very natural look and then a very dramatic look like the one I'm wearing right now, and you guys will really see that in the 3 looks. Like, look 1 is very natural, look 2 is like a bump up, and then look 3 is the most dramatic one. So I think with this palette you kind of get everything that you need in terms of the tone. I do want to say that all the metallics in here is not a complete metallic that we're used to. This formulation is a formulation from Colourpop that I really do love. It's a metallic shadow, but it has so many specks of glitters in it that it really sparkles through. If you are familiar with Mesmerized from Through My Eyes, that's like one that really pops up to me. It's like a metallic shadow, but it just has so many specks of glitters throughout it that when you apply it, it's not going to apply like a traditional metallic. It's really hard to explain. I think you guys will really see that in the 3 looks, but I do want to mention that all 3 of these, it's more of like a glitter than a metallic shadow. The way it applies, you see more of the glitter than anything. And for me personally, like, although I love this formulation, like I adore this formulation, I think having 3 of that same formulation, it was not tricky to use. I just feel like I wish there was just a traditional metallic shadow that I could highlight my inner corners with, because like, to highlight your inner corners with these kind of metallics, it's just like glitter in your inner corners, but sometimes you just want like a good solid metallic to highlight your inner corners with, and I had to highlight my inner corners with my highlighter today. So I guess that's one con that I could see, but maybe you won't even mind that. But I guess I would like a little bit more variety with the metallics and having all 3 metallics in the same sort of metallic formulation. Other than that, everything else worked beautifully. I didn't have any issues with any of the shadows. And I think the big question a lot of you guys are going to be asking is, do I need Making Mauves if I have the Flutter By? I feel like that's really hard to answer because they are different, and of course they have the similarities between them, and like when you put them side by side you can see that there's a lot of, I guess, dupes or comparisons, and I will show you guys my comparison. I was fighting between if I should do shade by shade comparison or palette by palette comparison, because some of you guys like the shade by shade, some of you guys like the palette, so I'm doing both comparisons. So right now I'm going to talk about the palette comparison, and Flutterby is obviously the most comparable palette from Colourpop to Making Mauves. Later on you guys will see the shade by shade, so if you guys like shade by shade comparisons, I have included it. I am trying to please everybody here as much as I can. The best way for me to differentiate the palettes is that Flutterby, you do get those intense mauvey shadows, but you also have a hint of the browns in there. So you have a medium brown, you have a dark brown to play with. It's not just all mauves. Of course, with the metallic shadows, this palette has that traditional metallic, like really foiled looking shadow that we're used to, and it also has a pressed glitter, so there's a little bit more variation with that, but it's also a 12 pan, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive. But then when you have the Making Mauves, this is just a straight up mauve palette. You won't get any browns, nothing of that sort. Everything in here is a true mauvey tone, so I think it really depends on you and what you're really looking for. I think if you already have the Flutterby, do you really need this? Maybe not, but if you love mauve shadows and you already have Flutterby and you're just like really tempted to get this, I'm like, why not? It's affordable, it's pretty, but I do think you can get very similar looks from the Flutterby from this palette, but of course with those metallics in here, there is a bit of a difference with the metallics in here. So overall on the Making Mauves palette, I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's going to be a palette I'm going to keep going to. I think I would go into the Flutterby palette more than I go into the Making Mauves, but I definitely can see myself combining the two palettes together. If you love mauve shadows, and this is literally the ultimate palette for you. If you love more cool tone looks, then this is the palette for you. I know Colourpop doesn't really release a lot of cool tone palettes, and even for me personally, I don't even like cool tones, but I think this palette looks very flattering because of that purple. And then we have two new pressed blushes, and you guys know how much I love Colourpop's like pressed line, like pressed eyeshadows, pressed blushes, pressed highlighter. Like I just love their pressed line. It's just so good, and the blushes are no exception. I love both the blushes, and they look like typical ordinary blushes that you might already have, but when I was trying to find my comparisons, I actually couldn't find anything really that similar, so I'm happy that I have these two new blushes. I honestly like both. It's really hard for me to choose which one I like better, but if you wanted to get one, I personally like Coast to Coast, and that is the blush that I'm wearing right now. But Catch My Vibe is really pretty too. I actually really like both. It's hard for me to choose. I feel like blushes, like it's not that hard to please me. As long as I like the shade, then I'm gonna really love the blush, because I am just a blush hardcore fan, you know? And the last two products are the Luxe glosses. So we have this one called Figgy With It, which is the lip color that I'm wearing right now, and we also have Checked In. So again, I love glosses. Like this collection, they just release everything that I love. Like I love the glosses, love the blushes, love the eyeshadows. And I think these two are a really great addition to the Luxe Gloss family, because I was trying again to find comparisons for these two glosses within the Luxe family, but I couldn't find anything that had this like pinky mauve tone to it. So I think that was a great addition to the family. And I would say a lot of the glosses that I have in my collection don't pull this mauve. So I'm glad that again, I have these two shades in my collection. I do like both glosses, but if I had to choose one, I would say Figgy With It, because it's a little bit darker. It shows up more on my lips, and that's what I typically like. Checked In is really pretty as well, but it is a little bit light for me. I think with a certain look I can pull it off, but it's not a gloss that I would wear as much as Figgy With It. So both glosses are beautiful, but I would say Figgy With It is my favorite, and I'm probably gonna keep both of them in my top drawer, just because when I wear more pinky purple looks, I like to pair my lip color to match with that, and I've been using these same lip colors to pair with those looks for so long now that I just kind of want to change, and these two are gonna be my change. So you guys will see me use these lip glosses so much. And that, you guys, is pretty much my review. It was pretty short just because it's only like 3 products to really talk about, and all of these products are existing formulations from Colourpop. But either way, I hope you guys found that review helpful. There's not really much to recommend because I recommend this entire collection. I think it just depends on the shade. Formulation, you can't go wrong with these formulations. It really just depends on the shade and how you think it's gonna look on you. So hopefully seeing it on me can help you decide whether you want to purchase it or not. With that being said, we can move into the swatches, the comparisons, and the 3 looks. So for the first look, I'm gonna start off with the shade Tongue Tied, and I'm going to start packing this onto my lid space first, just as a base and all over shadow. So I'm gonna focus that on my lid space, and then I'll slowly start blending that up into my crease area. I don't wanna blend it up too high because I don't wanna overtake my entire eye, but I do want this to show as like an all over base shadow. And this is a satin shadow, so it does have a little specks of glitters throughout it, which is perfect for this look since it does add a little bit more dimension than just a plain old matte. I'm also going to take the shadow onto my lower lash line as well. I'm using a pretty big fluffy brush to diffuse this out on my lower lash line because I want this look to look very diffuse, smoky, no harsh lines, and almost very natural, soft glam looking. Then I'm gonna take the shade by Coastal, and I'm gonna use my ring finger. I'm literally just taking the tiniest bit. I just dip my finger in once, ever so slightly, and I'm just gonna dab that at the center of my eyes. I'm gonna dab it on, blend it out very lightly, and then I'll use another clean finger to really diffuse this out, and pretty much it's just going to go all over the lid at this point, but wherever your finger touches first is where the most pigment is going to be, and I think applying it at the center of your eyes is going to really catch the light because that's like the highest point of your eyes. And now I'm gonna take Marquee and I'm gonna use this as my eyeliner. I'm pretty much just gonna use this to tightline my lash line, and I think it's the perfect shade for this type of look because it's not too dark like a black where it's too intense, but I feel like it still defines the lash line. And I'm also gonna bring a little bit of that onto my lower lash, but just at the outer edge, just to give the lower lash a little bit more definition as well. I'm gonna take the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Call Me, and I'm gonna use this to tightline my upper waterline just to make sure there's no skin showing. That way when we prep our lashes, it does look like a full lash. So now I'm just going to prep my lashes by giving them a good curl, and I'm also going to apply mascara. I'm using the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara, and for my lashes today I am wearing the Ardell lashes in the style 1110 Natural. And for my blush, I'm going in with the pressed powder blush in the shade Coast to Coast from the collection, and I'm just going to apply that to the apples of my cheeks to give me a very natural flushed look. So this, you guys, is the first look completed. It's more of like a soft, natural glam. I really liked how it turned out. I love the tones, and I also love doing this technique for days where you do want to get glammed up a little bit, but not too much, and you just want a little bit less on your eyes. I think this is like the perfect in between. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first look. For my lip color, I am wearing the Luxe Gloss in the shade Figgy With It from the collection. And now for the second look, I'm gonna start off with the shade Sculpting, and this is going to be our transition shadow. I'm just going to work that straight into my crease using windshield wiping motions. I do want to mention the way that Sculpting looks in the pan. It doesn't translate the same when it's on your eyes. In the pan, it looks almost very warm, but once it's on the eyes, it's like completely mauve and cool toned. So I just wanted to mention that. It's not a bad thing, but it is something to note. I'm also gonna take that onto my lower lash line as well, just to diffuse this all over the lower lash. I'm then gonna move into Big Fig, and I'm going to deepen out my outer corners with this shadow. Just using circular motions, I'm gonna focus this mainly on the lid at the outer corner and slowly bring that up towards the outer crease area. But we just wanna start deepening out the outer corner to give us that elongate cat-eyed shape. I'm then gonna go into Marquee and I'm gonna do exactly the same thing, just deepen out the outer corner, but I am using a smaller brush and I am focusing it in a smaller area. So this is the darker shadow that's going to help deepen out the outer corners. I'm also gonna take Marquee on my lower lash line as well, but I'm only gonna focus this at the outer corners, again, to really emphasize that cat eye shape. Now I am taking Mauve on top and I'm going to be using this shadow wet and I'm going to place that at the inner third of my eyes. I'm just going to blow this out. Mauve on top definitely has more specks of glitters than it does like metallicness. So it's a really beautiful shade. It's going to catch the light. It's going to catch people's eyes when they see the shadow on your eyes because it's just so eye-catching and mesmerizing. The amount of glitters in here is just so stunning. So I'm going to take that into my inner corners. I also take a little bit on my lower lash line at the inner third, just highlighting that area. Now I'm going to take my black liquid liner and I'm going to use this to line my lash line and also create a fairly dramatic wing. I will go in with a black eyeshadow to help define and sharpen out that wing. I'm just getting my lashes prepped. I am curling them and I'm going to apply the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara and then I'm just popping on my lashes. These ones are from House of Lashes in the style Natalia Light. And for the blush today, I'm going to take the pressed powder blush in the shade Catch My Vibe from this collection and I'm just going to apply that to the apples of my cheeks and blend that back towards my bronzer. Alright you guys, so this is the second look completed. For my final lip pairing, I went with the Luxe Gloss in the shade Check In from this collection. But I hope you guys like this second look. It's like a level up from the first look, a little bit more glitter, the liner, the lashes, but it's still quite wearable and approachable. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this second look. And now onto the final look. I'm going to start off with the shade Big Mauves and this is going to be our transition shadow. I'm just going to place that into my crease using windshield wiping motions. I'm also going to blend this up towards my brow bone because this is going to be our base color, so we do want to see this shadow underneath all of the other shadows that we're going to place on top of it. I'm also going to take this shadow onto my lower lash line as well, just sweeping that from the outer corner right to the inner corner. Then I'm going to move into the shade Big Figs and I'm going to pack this on to my lid space first. I want to get the most pigmentation on my lid space and then I'll slowly start blending that up towards my crease area, and with the shadow you'll slowly start seeing a gradient and that's what we exactly want for a smoky eye. Then going into Marquee, I'm going to also pack this onto my lid space as well. But this time I'm going to focus it just mainly on the lid. I'm not going to blend it up too high into my crease because we want to work from light to dark and you want to see that gradation. So I'm also going to take Marquee onto my lower lash line as well. I'm going to use this to define my lower lash just so that the top lid and the bottom lash looks cohesive. Nothing looks too top heavy. Then I am taking Alarm Mode and I am going to pretty much put this all over my lid space. This is more of like a glittery metallic, so there's a lot of specks of glitters when it comes to the shadow, so it really does sparkle through. I'm not going to use it wet because I don't want it to be too high shine. I just want these little glitters to like speckle throughout my lid. Now I am going in with my liquid liner once again. I'm just going to use this to align my lash line and also create a wing, and then going in with a black eyeshadow to smudge and define that wing. I'm then taking my Artisty In Moisturiser eyeliner in the shade Coffee and I'm going to use this to tightline my bottom waterline. And then for my lashes, again just prepping them using the Full Frontal Mascara from Fenty Beauty. And the lashes for today's look are from Petite Cosmetics in the style Diva. As for blush, I'm gonna go in with the Press Powder Blush in the shade Coast to Coast from this collection. And again, just gonna apply that to the tops of my cheeks, blending that back towards my bronzer. And this, you guys, is the final look completed. It is the most dramatic look out of the three. A very intense smoky eye, but I feel like it's still quite wearable, and because it's so smoky and diffused, it makes your eyes look very sultry, very sexy. So I really like the end result, and I hope you guys like it too. Alright you guys, so this is going to complete my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It feels so good to be back with my Colourpop reviews. I did order the tie-dye palettes. I only got the palettes. I couldn't get the cream gel liners because they sold out so quick, and that was like a surprise launch that I was too late to get the cream gel liners, which I'm so bummed out about. But I did get the palettes and I am waiting for them in the mail. So those videos will come out very shortly, but just want to let you guys know it does feel good to be reviewing Colourpop again because it has been a while, and it's just something so normal to me. So it feels really good to be back. I hope you guys enjoyed this review and found it helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up for me. I would appreciate it so much if you did. It helps with the algorithm and will get my video out to more people to see. But yeah, be sure to let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. What do you guys think of this collection? I know this collection is so old, but let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!